And the Leaders Debate Commission says that the Green Party has been disinvited from both federal leaders' debates this week. The commission says because the party intentionally reduced its number of candidates running in the federal election, it no longer meets the intention of the participation criteria. Today, Green Party co-leader Jonathan Pedno spoke to the press and said the commission's decision is undemocratic.
Today I speak not just as the youngest leader on the federal scene today, but as someone who spent his life standing up for those who the world is trying to silence. And today the Leaders Debate Commission is trying to do exactly that, to silence us. Let me be clear, their last-minute decision to exclude the Green Party of Canada from the Leaders Debate is not only unjust and baseless, because we met the criteria, it is undemocratic. It comes more than 7 days after the final list of candidates was received and announced by Elections Canada. And it follows a coordinated campaign by the Bloc Québécois and conservative commentators, people who are less interested in informing Canadians than they are in protecting their political turf. They're afraid. And they're afraid not of chaos or confusion, but they're afraid of a clear voice that's calling for change and that's fighting for Canadians.
In order to participate in the debates, parties must have met 2 of 3 conditions. Either have had 1 seat in the House of Commons or 28 days before the election have at least 4% national support or have endorsed candidates in at least 90% of ridings. Our correspondent Wyatt Sharpe joined us to unpack the Greens being uninvited and what to expect from the French language debate tonight.
Tonight, the French language leaders debate will officially kick off debate season for this general election campaign here in Canada. Now, there was a bit of a time change for the debate due to it coinciding with the Montreal Canadiens playoff game, which, as a lot of people on social media are pointing out, is a very Canadian premise that election debate would be moved as a result of a national hockey game. But with respect to the debate itself, we do have a number of interesting kind of developments, starting out with the Green Party and the fact that they're not going to be allowed to participate. There's been 5 times in Canadian history where a woman has been on the debate stage. 2 of those times were Elizabeth May. She really was able to kind of make inroads for the party. And of course, now under the Greens' new co-leadership model, where she is no longer the official representative of the party. Instead, it is Jonathan Pedno, who the Greens dub as her co-leader. He was due to participate on the debate stage. He told me that he was already in Montreal. He lives in Montreal, but he was getting ready for the debate, and he was expecting that he was going to be able to participate. But the Greens are saying that they're not running candidates in all 343 ridings this election, primarily due to the fact that they want to encourage people to strategically vote for Mark Carney in some ridings where it's looking like it could come out as a pretty close result between the Liberals and the Conservatives, to try and prevent a Poilievre win. And so this kind of all centers around this idea that the Greens aren't going to be allowed to participate because that is in fact one of the criterion that the Leaders Debate Commission had laid out. And you had a lot of criticism too, because the People's Party of Canada did not meet that requirement, and they were told that they were not going to be able to participate in this debate a few weeks ago, whereas the Greens were only told today they were expecting to participate, which from a leader's perspective and from the perspective of the team who, helps them get ready for these types of things, they were expecting that they were going to be in this debate. They were going through all of the issues. Jonathan Pedno had told me directly that he was expecting, as I said, to be on that debate stage. And so certainly not only the French debate is going to be interesting, the English debate is tomorrow night, but with the French debate specifically, Mark Carney is going to really have to put his French to the test. That's something that we haven't really had a whole lot of success on with, seeing Mark Carney and seeing how he's able to speak French. If you think back to the French Liberal Party leadership debate, it wasn't really that successful for Mark Carney. And of course, in this debate, he's going to have to go up against Pierre Poilievre, someone who is actually his father, Pierre Poilievre's father, was a French Canadian from Saskatchewan, believe it or not. And so Pierre Poilievre obviously has the backing of knowing the French language a lot better. And in a province like Quebec, where knowing the French language is very important to people, that could kind of make or break the difference. We know they both understand their respective policy platforms very well. So So again, their understanding of the language might be enough to kind of tip the needle one way or another tonight.